So I've created this nice little preset in Diva, which I really like the sound of it. So I'm going to just record a little clip here in Diva. Let's just do that now. Just put that metronome on. Just check that the record quantization is 16th. Yep. So let's go. So I'm just keeping that really simple, and I'm just going to just do what I always do, which is just go and check what I have recorded makes sense. I'm just going to press Control J, so we have everything there, and yep, everything seems to be lined up. There's just some funny notes that we want to just take out, and it is record quantization, so it should be about right. That first note isn't the right size, so I just copied and pasted the previous note, and if they're not exactly the same, that's fine. You can do some adjustments, like, you know, tweak them, just make them kind of similar type of length. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy that previous one, and we'll just make sure I just click anywhere on the clip and click on legato. So then we've got this sound here. I'm going to just solo this one here. Okay, so next thing I want to do is just take this, and now I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to solo it again, and I'm just going to take a arpeggiator. I'm going to just use one of the presets. So just use the Bach 16th preset. Let's just hear how that sounds. So that's a bit fast for me, so I'm going to just slow it down to 8th. And just increase that gate a little bit, not too much. So that's all sounding nice. So I just renamed the sounds Diva Chords and Diva Arp. And now what you have here is a pretty flat sounding combination of chords and arpeggiator. It's very flat, there's not much going on, there's no dynamic things happening. So what we want to do really is we want to bring a soothe in from Oak Sound. Now this is a frequency modulation plugin that will soothe or enhance certain frequencies, and it's really good. So what we're going to do is just bring that in like that, and then we're going to sidechain the ARP that we had before. Okay, so what we're going to do in addition is click on Delta. So Delta is, you're listening basically to how it's being affected. So let's just take a listen. And of course we'll solo that track. So all you're hearing now is what is being sent from the arpeggiator to the chords track. So we can widen the frequency range there, and we can start increasing. This is, by the way, Delta mode, so this is only the effects that we are hearing. Now we can increase the depth, click on sidechain. So you're now really hearing what's happening. And we're just going to increase that trim so the volume goes up a bit. This is all Delta. Now if we take the Delta off, we can hear how it sounds together. Now if you switch soothe off, it sounds flat. There's no movement. But if we switch soothe on, you can hear those chords, but you've got all this movement and lovely stuff happening in the background. Now what we can do now is play the two together, the arpeggiator and the chords together. So just bear with me here. So those arpeggiator chords are sounding just a tiny bit dull, right? So what we can do now is, in Diva, we can click on Configure. We could just touch the cutoff and touch the resonance, switch that back off. So once we've done that, we can now go into Diva and select frequency and resonance. So you've got this frequency resonance matrix happening. So when we play it now, we can hear how they sound in combination. And you can leave it on a sweet spot, but what is really amazing is as you change that, these chords are being changed as well. So we just go back to delta and we go back here. It's changing the way the thing is sounding as well on the chords. So now what we can do is go ahead and record that automation. Click automation arm and then click record here. So let's just play that back to see, yep, the recorded automation. Super cool. Now the other thing we can do is we can go back to those chords and change the sidechain. We can say, for example, bring in a drum loop and change the drum loop to be the source of the automation. This is the drum loop. So we're just going to go back to Diva chords here. If we just go delta, so we're going to increase that sharpness because there's going to be a lot more pointy stuff happening with the drums. And the sensitivity. Okay, now let's bring that into the mix. Now if we want, if there's too much going on, we can actually reduce the mix. Now let's bring that bass line in. We want to do something similar with the bass line. Just click on configure like that. And we'll just click on the cutoff. And we'll change the decay as well. And we just bring those into the matrix. And we'll record that automation now.